Brittany Bell, weekday mornings on 16 WAPT News.
Breaking news just in. Legendary basketball coach Pat Summitt has passed away. The Tennessee Volunteers and the SEC mourning one of the most celebrated coaches in history. Also breaking right now, a BP plant explosion in Pascagoula. We have the new overnight details coming up. 16 WAPT News continues right now.
The one to watch. This is 16 WAPT News live at 6.
Good morning, everyone, on this Tuesday, June 28th. I'm Keegan Fox. We have a lot of news to get to, including an overnight shooting. But first, let's take a live look outside this morning from our Vicksburg Convention Center Skycam. Meteorologist Brittany Bell is here with weather first.
Well, things are quiet right now after we had a round of showers and storms yesterday. And a live storm shield 16 Doppler radar not seeing much in the way of rainfall across central Mississippi. Over to the maps. Temperatures are still warm and humid in the 70s. It's 77 degrees in Vicksburg, 72 in Lexington, and 73 in Hazelhurst. So we'll see another round of scattered showers and storms throughout the day, so make sure to keep the umbrella handy with a high of 90 degrees. But rain chances will go down throughout the week. I'll have more on that in just a few.
We're following breaking news, a huge plant fire at a plant in Pascagoula, Marcus.
Yeah, that's right, Keegan, and we have video for you in our newsroom this morning, and check it out tonight. In the video, you can see just how high the flames got into the sky, into the night sky there in Pascagoula after that explosion. Again, this is in Pascagoula at a BP natural gas plant. The large explosion and fire can be seen for miles. Police say despite workers being present at the time of the explosion and no injuries or fatalities have been reported, emergency crews have the site blocked off and traffic is being diverted as they work to secure the scene. And we are expecting a statement on exactly what happened from Jackson County Emergency Services later on this morning. And more breaking news for you. We just got word legendary Tennessee women's basketball coach Pat Summitt has died. She was 64 years old. The Pat Summitt Foundation made an announcement early this morning. She stepped down as Tennessee's coach in 2012, 1 year after announcing her diagnosis of early onset dementia. Summitt coached the Lady Vols to 8 national championships in her 38 seasons and notched 1,098 career victories, more than any other Division I basketball coach. She was named the Coach of the Year 7 times. And we will continue to follow these breaking stories and bring you updates this morning. Keegan, back to you.
Thanks, Marcus. Developing overnight, a woman is fighting for her life this morning after someone shot her in the chest. It happened around 9:30 last night at the intersection of Adele and Northwest Streets in Jackson. Police are questioning 61-year-old Calvin Wilson. He's accused of shooting 37-year-old Gamilla Trust once in the chest. Police say it happened when the two were sitting in a car arguing. Wilson has not been charged, and investigators say they're still looking into what caused the shooting. Also developing overnight, Pearl police say a daycare worker accused of hitting a child turned herself in. Officers issued a warrant for Brittany Chambers before she surrendered last night. Pearl police say she hit a 3-year-old in the neck earlier this month at Explorers Daycare. Investigators say the boy's mother noticed bruising on his neck and took him to the hospital. Chambers is in the Rankin County Jail on a $150,000 bond. An 18-year-old girl is in custody accused of killing a man. Byram's police chief calls this the biggest murder case they've ever had. Officers arrested 18-year-old Marie Redd late last week for the murder of Felix Garth. Officers found Garth dead in his house last month. Authorities say he had been shot in the face and suffered a heart attack. There's no word yet on a motive. The police chief says he is not ruling anything out, including more arrests. Developing overnight, lightning sparked a house fire in Madison County. A viewer sent us video of the intense flames late last night. This happened in the Ridgefield subdivision in Gluckstadt. Authorities say lightning struck the house and caused a large fire. No one was hurt, but there is extensive damage. Authorities say there were about 3 fires caused by lightning last night. Happening today, an emergency special session for state lawmakers. Governor Phil Bryant wants them to sign off on going into the rainy day fund. Officials made a mistake at the end of the regular session when they estimated the state would collect $50 million more in tax revenue. The governor needs up to $60 million. We asked him who's accountable for the budget shortfall. He says part of the issue is an increase in state spending.
I don't know if it's a blame, but I think we all looked at needs that took place. For example, a $100 million teacher pay raise. And that's each year another $100 million to go in that teacher pay raise we passed 3 years ago. A pay raise for troopers. They needed.
The reason for those is because the Republicans created it with their policies. They created the low numbers when no corporations can be taxed the way that they have been in the past few years.
Today's emergency special session could cost taxpayers more than $60,000. It's another $47,000 each day after that. In Commitment 2016, Donald Trump is back on the campaign trail today after being slammed by Hillary Clinton. 16 WAPT's Nicole Killian is in our Washington newsroom with more.
Keegan, Donald Trump will give an economic speech in Pennsylvania, according to his campaign. This, as reports suggest, he may be shifting his stance on his proposed Muslim ban. At a Cincinnati rally, Trump was a chief target as Hillary Clinton and Elizabeth Warren teamed up for the first time. Trump took aim on Twitter, calling Warren goofy.
You want to see goofy? Look at him in that hat. I do just love to see how she gets under Donald Trump's thin skin.
Trump and one of his surrogates, Scott Brown, also attacked Warren's Native American background, suggesting she lied about her heritage, something she's denied. In Washington, Nicole Killian, 16 WAPT News.
A federal judge says clerks cannot deny marriage licenses to same-sex couples in Mississippi. He blocked that portion of the religious objection law yesterday. In the ruling, circuit clerks in Mississippi must treat gay and straight couples equally, despite the clerk's religious beliefs. Federal Judge Carlton Reeves has not yet ruled in two other lawsuits seeking to block the religious objection law altogether. Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves says he hopes the state appeals the ruling to, quote, protect the deeply held religious beliefs of all Mississippians. The U.S. Supreme Court struck down a Texas abortion law that could have implications in Mississippi. Under the law, doctors who perform abortions would have to have access to hospitals. The justices ruled 5-3. That law is unconstitutional. The clinic on State Street in Fondren has been in legal limbo for years. Owners filed a federal lawsuit to stop a 2012 state law similar to the Texas law the justices just ruled against.
Ecstatic, actually. I was very happy. I was pleased with the decision. I thought they made the right decision. I thought they made the fair decision, and they did. So we were all pleased with it.
The devil has friends on the Supreme Court. I don't know the exact ruling, but God's law says thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit murder.
House Speaker Philip Gunn says the ruling is a setback for those who believe in the sanctity of human life. Well, the Jackson City Councilman says something is off about the arrest of Hinds County District Attorney Robert Smith. 16 WAPT's Ross Adams explains what he claims is behind that arrest.
Councilman Kenneth Stokes said red marks on District Attorney Robert Smith's face in his arrest photo show agents beat Smith when they took him into custody last week.
And I think that is something that should be investigated, and someone should be held liable.
Stokes calls the arrest politically motivated.
There's got to be some truth somewhere in this.
An inmate named Christopher Butler told Stokes that the AG's office tried to pressure him to give them dirt about Smith.
And he said the first thing they asked me was, what is his relationship with the Hinds County District Attorney?
Monday, Stokes showed us a 2-month-old handwritten letter from Butler.
And if it's true what he's saying, that the Attorney General's office, through the investigators, threatened him and told him if he give information on the district attorney, they'll let him go. And if he didn't, they were going to increase his bond and have more charge, and that has happened.
Now the AG's affidavit says Smith visited the jail to advise Butler about a case that Smith's office is supposed to be prosecuting.
But what about the allegations against the DA that he was talking to a guy who he's supposed to be prosecuting for a crime?
Well, you know, again, we're talking about misdemeanor allegations.
Reported in Jackson, Ross Adams, 16 WAPT News.
Rio de Janeiro's acting governor says the upcoming Olympic Games could be a, quote, big failure. Marcus?
Yeah, that's right, Keegan. He says security and mobility are big worries ahead of the Olympic Games down there in Rio. They're going to start in August. He says the state is still waiting on an $860 million payout from the federal government aimed ahead of the events. Now, the Metro line that was meant to ferry tourists to the main Olympic venue in Western Rio, still not ready. The governor also says there's only enough gas money to continue police patrols through the end of the week. And happening right now, a blue whale is in a bit of a tough spot off the coast of Southern California, but rescue efforts have already gotten underway. The 70 to 80-foot whale got tangled in some crab nets yesterday afternoon. Oceanic officials believe the whale is carrying around 200 feet of line tangled around its tail. The blue whale is an endangered species with only 10,000 to 25,000 left in the entire world. I'm Marcus Hunter here in the newsroom. Keegan, back to you.
All right, Marcus, speaking of wild animals, a wild sighting in Vicksburg. The warning from authorities after someone spotted a bear roaming the streets. Now let's take a live look outside this morning across downtown Jackson. How are things shaping up out there? Meteorologist Brittany Bell has your full forecast next. You're watching 16 WAPT News.